Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be talking about the Rolex Datejust 41. This one I consider to be pretty much at the top of the pile when it comes to the Datejust and the 41mm versions. We'll be talking about the case, the dial, the bezel, the crown functions, as well as the movement and this bracelet, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on all of these throughout this video. This one, the Datejust 41 with a black dial, diamond hour marks, round diamond hour marks, with an oyster bracelet, fluted bezel in white gold. So starting off with this case, we have a 41mm case. That's from finger to thumb, from 2 to 8 o'clock position, or the 10 to 4 position, same distance, 41mm. You have the monoblock middle case with the screw down case back and the Rolex winding crown to ensure water resistance down to 100 meters or 330 feet. You also have a full high polish surface on every conceivable surface of this watch, at least on the top portion, the front and the sides. You have a nice brushed finish underneath, satin brush finishing that is. Sitting on the very front of this case, you also have the fluted bezel in white gold. They always make their bezels, at least their fluted bezels, in a type of gold. In this case, white gold to match the overall color scheme here, especially with this bracelet. Now, the original function of the bezel, the flutedness of this bezel, was to actually have these teeth on here to essentially screw directly onto the front of the case in order to ensure waterproofness. But modern advancements over time have really made that kind of not really necessary anymore, but they still keep it on the front as a mark of distinction, and they always make it in some sort of gold, in this case white gold. Now, taking a closer look at this dial, we have what they call an intense black dial. It does have a sunray black, it's a black dial, but it does have that sunray sort of finishing if you look at it at the right angle, so it's a little bit hard to capture on my monitor here. I don't know, you might be able to see it better on your screen at home, but I can certainly see it much more easily with my eyes, as seems to be the case with just about every dial. It's just everything looks better with your eyes. But anyway, the hour markers on here are in 18 karat white gold round settings. The diamonds themselves all placed on each hour except for the 12 and 3, taken up by the Rolex crown logo as well as the date aperture, as you can see respectively. Underneath the Cyclops lens there, you can see the aperture nice and small, but through the Cyclops lens looks nice and big, fits within the overall compositional elements here on the dial. The added benefit of the Datejust 41 is that it also does have the Roman numerals at the very tip, the very edge of the dial, so you can easily tell, should you ever actually need them, which hour markers are which values. So again, this is a very good starter watch line, the Datejust line, but the 41, this one with the diamond hour markers and the fluted gold bezel, just pushes it that much higher among the rest of the line, and to me just really feels a lot nicer, a whole lot more just I don't know, luxurious, just better overall in terms of its overall presentation, and certainly much more elegant in its presentation as well. Now, taking a look at how this watch works, it works as every other Datejust would. Simply unwind the crown at 3 o'clock position. This allows you to wind the watch at the first base position. So if you're at a dead stop, around 20 to 30 full winds is all you need to get to the full power reserve. Rather simple there. Pull the crown out to the next position. You can then advance the date by 1 by turning it about a quarter turn in the clockwise direction. So if you find yourself on an irregularly numbered month, say on a 30-day month, you can just move it a quarter turn, and that's all you'll really need. Wait for the hour hand to pass midnight, and so forth. You'll be on the first of the next month nicely and easily. Pull the crown out to the final position, and note that the seconds hand has actually stopped, allowing you to hack the function of this watch, so you can then place the minute hand precisely wherever it needs to go, line it up with an atomic clock, press the crown back in when it lines up nicely and evenly, screw the crown back in tightly against the case to ensure that superior water resistance. All right, now onto the movement as to what makes all of this work. It is the 3235 in-house made by Rolex. It has a plus or minus 2 second per day time differential after casing, giving you the center hour, minute, and seconds hands with the instantaneous date with the rapid setting and stop seconds for precise time setting, all of which I had just demonstrated. The oscillator on the inside, you can't see it through the case back because it is a solid case back. You do have that added sense of security there. It has a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring with high performance Paraflex shock absorbers. So what that means is that you can take a few bumps here and there. You can get relatively close to potentially magnetized surfaces, such as, say, your refrigerator, and it won't affect the timekeeping ability of the watch or the movement itself. So no worries there, it'll still be keeping track of time just fine. Also on the inside, what makes it an automatic is that it has a bidirectional, self-winding, central mounted perpetual rotor, meaning that you can simply wear this watch on your wrist, provided that you've wound it at least a few times already from a dead stop. And the rotor on the inside will actually wind at the mainspring barrel, so it will actually keep the charge of this watch without actually having to, physically and manually wind the crown every so often. If you wear this every day, like you very much could, then you can simply just wear this and you literally never have to actually wind it. All right, so all of this together gives you about 70 hours of power reserve. So that's basically 3 whole days. You can set this down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Monday morning, ready to conduct business, no need to wind the watch at all. It'll still be keeping track of time just fine. Now taking a look at this bracelet, this is sort of the indicator as to the sort of settings or the environments to which you would be wearing this watch, and certainly this oyster style bracelet does give you that added sense of security, better than a rubber strap, better than a leather strap, and it gives you a sportier feel while still maintaining that sense of luxury. 3-piece links across, the middle intermediary links being a high polish, the outer links a satin brush finish. Satin brush finishing entirely underneath with a high polish along the sides there. It has a nice gentle taper down to the oyster folding clasp, rather basic but still very strong and useful in its own right. Simply just lift the top. To open it up, you have the Rolex stamped logo on the inside. You know that you're dealing with steel. And the added benefit of the oyster folding clasp, well, outside of having a very excellent presentation as well, integrated with that of the bracelet with the Rolex crown on that high polish portion, is that there's an underneath part that allows you to have another half link of an oyster bracelet. So what's the point of this? So say you have your watch nicely and perfectly sized to your wrist, nice and snug, but say you just drank, I don't know, 3 liters of water and you walked outside during the California wildfires, and well, your wrist is very likely to swell then. So all you need to do is just reach under here, pull it straight out from the clasp, and there you go, another half link, so that this entire link is now fully exposed. You have that little added 5 millimeters of Easy Link extension. That's what it's called, an Easy Link 5 millimeter comfort extension, so that you can continue to wear your watch without it turning into a tourniquet on your wrist. You can, and when you're done with it, you no longer need it. You can simply fold it back in on itself and press it back into the clasp nicely and easily. Looks nice and good, and clean presentation is still maintained overall. While we're here, can try it on my wrist and give you my thoughts as to how it wears on my wrist, at least 7 inches in circumference or 18 centimeters. So with a Datejust 41, it's still rather large for me. I prefer the 36. To me, the 36 is sort of the sweet spot, but for me, that's just for me. If you have a larger wrist, or if you just like having the larger and in charge sort of look, then this is certainly the model for you. And certainly with a 41 millimeter dial, you have a lot of space among these hour marks with those diamonds. Makes it very easy to read. You have a very good sense of breathing space overall. You don't have to fill the entire dial with a bunch of junk, and it just looks really nice, really elegant overall, especially with those diamonds. They can shimmer at any angle. You can very easily read it, especially with those white gold hands nicely, and nicely reflecting any light, because they're not entirely flat. They are sort of angled on their surfaces. So it gives them a very good sense of readability, regardless of the lighting setting. All right, now looking at it down the wrist, it does sit rather large on mine, although it's not a bad thing because that added little benefit here of a slightly larger watch for me is that there's a little more breathing space underneath these lugs. It just feels a lot better on the wrist, and certainly with a steel construction, it's not unnoticeable. It is certainly noticeable, but it is not a heavy watch by any means, at least within the context of Rolex and luxury watches. So it feels very nice on the wrist, fits very nicely, although a little bit big for me. If you have a smaller wrist, like down to 6 inches, you could consider a Datejust 36 instead of a 41, but certainly if you like the large overall look here, then this is certainly the one for you. And while I did say that this is basically the top of the line when it comes to the Datejust 41s, the black with the diamond hour markers just gives it that really excellent sense of class and luxury that you can expect from something that has black and has diamonds on it, but not overly done. You don't have to have the fully diamond bezel. You don't have to have it iced out in diamonds on the bracelet. Just having this is enough. It's elegant and still classy and just looks excellent on the wrist. Any sort of clothing would do with this, and you can still wear this every day because you do have the steel construction of the bracelet. And with the Oyster Bracelet, they do sort of imply that you can be a little bit sportier with this, not quite as formal as, say, with a Jubilee bracelet, or if you want to go full formal, a leather bracelet or leather strap rather. But this one sort of does keep it still classy, even though it has a sportier look, sportier feel. It just feels very good on the wrist still, and still looks absolutely excellent and magnificent on any wrist. But that's it for me. What do you guys think about this watch? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store at jazztime.com. Links in the description below, where you can get it for the lowest price anywhere online. Anywhere online. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.